Every time you mow the lawn, you're sitting on a treasure that most gardeners toss away without a second thought. Those piles of green clippings you bag up and drag to the curb are more than just yard waste. They're one of the fastest, easiest ways to build rich black soil that makes plants thrive. Instead of letting them rot in a landfill, you can transform grass clippings into a powerful, all-natural fertilizer that feeds your garden, improves soil structure, and saves money on store-bought products. Let's dig in and uncover how you can turn this so-called waste into pure gardening gold. Grass clippings are packed with nutrients your soil craves. Every blade of grass contains nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals that plants need to grow strong and healthy. When you throw clippings away, you're literally discarding natural fertilizer that could enrich your garden. What makes them even better is their quick breakdown rate. Unlike sticks or woody debris, grass decomposes rapidly, releasing its nutrients in just a few weeks. When managed correctly, clippings become the perfect building block for compost or a direct soil booster that turns tired dirt into dark, crumbly, nutrient-rich soil. If you've ever noticed how quickly a pile of grass heats up after mowing, that's nitrogen at work. Grass is loaded with this essential nutrient, and nitrogen is what drives decomposition and feeds your plants. The secret lies in balancing it with carbon-rich materials like dry leaves, shredded paper, or straw. By creating the right mix, you accelerate the breakdown process and end up with a compost that smells earthy, looks dark, and feels crumbly. Exactly the type of soil life your garden thrives on. Without balance, clippings can mat together, turning slimy and smelly. But with the right combination, they transform into black gold. So, to avoid those smelly piles, don't just dump your clippings in a heap. Instead, layer them properly with carbon-rich materials. A simple and effective formula is 2 parts grass clippings to 1 part dry material like shredded leaves or straw. For example, if you're working with 10 pounds of grass clippings, just mix in about 5 pounds of dried leaves or other browns. Make sure the pile stays moist but not soggy. A good rule of thumb is to water until it feels like a damp sponge when you squeeze it. Too much water suffocates the pile, while too little slows decomposition. Turn the compost every week to introduce oxygen, which fuels the microbes that do the hard work. Within 4 to 6 weeks, you'll notice the clippings breaking down into a dark, rich compost ready to feed your garden. If you want faster results, turn your clippings into liquid fertilizer, sometimes called grass tea. This method extracts nutrients into a form your plants can absorb immediately. Here's a proven formula you can try at home. Fill a 5-gallon bucket halfway with fresh grass clippings, then add water until the bucket is full. Stir the mixture daily and let it sit for about 5 to 7 days. Once it turns a deep green and develops an earthy smell, strain out the solids. To apply, dilute the liquid at a ratio of 1 part grass tea to 10 parts water. For example, if you collect 1 liter of tea, mix it with 10 liters of water before using it. Pour this directly at the base of your plants, and you'll see them respond with lush green growth in just days. Not every gardener wants to wait for compost or mix a liquid brew. Fortunately, you can use clippings straight from the mower as mulch. Spread a thin layer about ½ an inch thick around vegetables, fruit trees, or flower beds. This layer acts like a protective blanket, locking in soil moisture, regulating temperature, and preventing weeds from sprouting. Be careful not to pile the mulch too thick, as grass tends to clump and create a barrier that traps moisture and blocks air circulation. If applied correctly, though, it breaks down naturally within a few weeks, feeding the soil and improving its texture. If you want to take things a step further, combine grass clippings with kitchen scraps for a nutrient-dense compost. Vegetable peels, coffee grounds, and fruit scraps add more nitrogen and trace minerals, while items like shredded cardboard or newspaper balance the carbon. The result is a biologically active compost teeming with beneficial microbes. A balanced formula is 3 buckets of grass clippings, 2 buckets of kitchen scraps, and 1 bucket of shredded cardboard or dried leaves. Water the pile until damp and turn it weekly. In 6 to 8 weeks, you'll have a dark compost rich in nutrients and organic matter that, honestly, supercharges your garden soil. Consistently using grass clippings in your garden actually builds healthier soil over time. Instead of spending money on chemical fertilizers, you'll create a self-sustaining system that basically feeds itself year after year. Soil that's enriched with grass compost holds water better, resists erosion, and, well, it fosters beneficial microorganisms that help protect your plants from disease. Over time, your garden beds will develop a soft, crumbly texture and a deep black color, a clear sign of fertile living soil. Plants grown in this kind of soil don't just survive, they flourish, producing bigger harvests and more vibrant blooms. One of the biggest mistakes gardeners make is applying grass clippings too thickly. When clippings pile up without enough airflow, they form a slimy mat that smells foul and can even harm your plants. Another mistake is using clippings treated with chemical herbicides or pesticides. These residues can damage your soil's microbial life and potentially harm the very plants you're trying to nurture. Always ensure the grass you use is untreated and chemical-free. Every mowing session gives you a free, abundant resource for your garden. By recycling clippings instead of bagging them, you're actually reducing waste, improving your soil, and saving money. Isn't that just fantastic? Honestly, it doesn't matter if you have a small backyard or a large garden. Every gardener can benefit from putting grass to work. It's something everyone can enjoy, really. Grass clippings are not trash. They're nature's fertilizer just waiting to be used. Whether you compost them, brew liquid tea, or spread them as mulch, they're honestly one of the easiest ways to turn ordinary soil into the rich, black foundation of a thriving garden. So, the next time you mow, don't throw away the gold under your feet. Transform it into the fuel that powers your plants. If you found this guide helpful, don't forget to subscribe to Crop Corner and share this with fellow gardeners. Together we can grow smarter, waste less, and enjoy healthier harvests.